Here's a tip. If you want meat birds, talk to the elementary schools.
Hi, I'm here today at Pfeiler Farms with Kenny, where he and his wife Marion and their children, is it 4 children?
Three.
Three.
Not four.
And their 3 children have a farm where they are homesteading and growing all sorts of fun stuff. He has a YouTube channel also, Pfeiler Family Farms. I was here in the Kansas City area bringing Leslie up for college and had a few hours, so I asked if I could pop by and he said sure. So we've gone on a little tour of the homestead here, and I thought I'd ask you some questions and get to know you a little bit more, if
Sure.
you don't mind. So why homesteading, why farming?
I just wanted to get back to something where we could produce our own food, our own vegetables, our own fruits, instead of going to the grocery store and getting it. And we know what kind of quality and the health benefits, like, well, we know what we put in it and we know what we're going to get out of it, of our produce and our animals. So the elderberries, I got hooked on them when Doug and Stacy did an interview with Terry Durham from River Hills Harvest, showing about the benefits of the elderberry. So figure why not? So we got some sticks and we planted them. So all the tall ones are the plants that I stuck in the ground last year, and then all the short ones are the cuttings from these plants that I did this winter. So this is, with all the rain that we received so far, they're doing really great. So the flowers are coming in, they're taking off like wildfire. So I'm hoping that they produce enough fruit for us that we can actually start harvesting it ourselves and make elderberry syrup, make cordial. The cordial that River Hills Harvest has is awesome, and it's really good. Terry recommends taking a shot a day. So we can make it ourselves, that'll be good.
You have done quite a lot in 2 years. Are you about where you thought you would be in 2 years? Or what did you think in your mind's eye? What did you envision you would be doing? And are you on track with that, or have you had to change paths somewhat since then?
The garden, I would like it to be bigger or have more stuff planted, but it just hasn't happened yet because there's so much that I'm doing every day.
I don't know if you have found this to be true, but I know on my homestead that the infrastructure takes so much of my time. I think once a lot more of that is established, then I think myself in particular, I'll have more time to focus on the actual production
Yes.
of things. I think
Yes.
that right now takes up a lot of my time, energy, and my financial energy too.
Yes. Yeah, the infrastructure is very important. And it's been slow going, getting wood chips, adding that to the garden. And I know that that's going to hinder the growth in the garden a little bit. But yeah, building cages and putting up fence for hogs or other animals, that takes time and it takes money. And sometimes you have to wait until you have the time or you have the money in order to get it set up.
Right.
I think the only animals that we purchased were the barn cats and our Great Pyrenees from the animal shelter. And then...
What about your chickens? Like, you got a thing full of meat birds out there. You didn't pay. Did
Okay.
you hatch them?
No. So here's a tip. If you want meat birds, talk to the elementary schools. All
What?
of our meat birds we got because our kids hatched them in class.
What?
Yeah. So we got them for free. The school
I've
called
never
me.
heard of anything like that.
The school called me, and they're like, "We got these chicks that just hatched. Do you want them?" Sure.
Yeah.
So immediately, I had 3 days. So I had to build a brooder. I had to get all the parts for the brooder. So that costed money. So that was an impulse buy, I guess, but it was a need.
Right.
So I had to convince my wife, hey, this is why I need to spend all this money to build the brooder, and then
Right.
spend
But
some
how
money.
many birds do you have out there? It looks
So-
like about 2 dozen.
there is the we just butchered some more this past
Okay.
weekend, so we had 40.
Wow.
We received 48 the first time. We received 24 the second time, and then 12 the third time.
Math. So close to 80.
So yeah, close.
So 48
So
and
40.
20 be 68.
Well, we received 48, lost 8, so 40, 64, 76
76 meat birds
for free.
for free. Now let's do the math on this, because they're pasture raised, or are they organic fed or no?
No.
But they're pasture raised. Well, they're
They're
grass fed.
They're okay. So that's kind of because I feed them feed.
They get grain and grass.
They get grain and grass. So yeah, I can't really say that they're
Okay.
pure pasture.
Okay, so we'll call them a normal meat bird that you
Yeah.
get at chicken. So let's say we
Yeah.
bought a rotisserie chicken from Walmart.
Yep.
Right? You can pay what, $6 or $8?
Probably.
Easy. Times 75. Right? So 150 times 3,
So
300, $550.
600.
ish.
600. Okay, so $600 worth of meat, and I don't know, but you probably didn't put that much into the brooder.
Mm-mm.
And that brooder is not good for just this batch of meat birds. It's good
Exactly.
for every batch of meat birds that school hatches out from now until eternity.
Yep.
And so you don't want them anymore. So potentially you're talking about $600 a year. Now, and that's just if you freeze those guys and stick them in your freezer.
Right.
But you're also not only cutting out your food bill, you can sell those. You can
At
turn them and
farmer's
sell
market,
them and probably turn a good.
We sell them for the 2 to 3 pounds. We sell them for $10 a piece, and it's anything over 4.5 is $15.
All right, so you're looking at $750 to $1,000 worth of animals for $100, $200, whatever you put into building the
Yep.
brooder. That is incredible. That alone ought to convince you guys. If you're thinking about this and you're like, I just don't know, if it's worth it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So and if you know you're going to go into raising meat birds, by all means, before you get them, start planning it out. What kind of coop you want? If you want a tractor, I find that the tractors are the greatest thing since sliced bread. There's different watering systems out there. The 5-gallon bucket, you go out there, you fill it in the morning, you fill it at night. If it's a little low, that's it. And then you move them on pasture.
Yeah. Yeah. So it can be done very inexpensively. And I think the thing that people need to remember is that this is a long game.
Yes.
Right? This is a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Yep.
So it's you might have to come up with that couple $100 out of pocket to get started, but you see the results. Like we have 2 pigs that are in our freezer right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a freezer full of meat, and just in the ground sausage alone, we're probably not going to have to buy a hamburger or ground meat for 2 years.
That's nice.
So we raised 4, we lost 1, so we ended up with 3. We sold 1. The one we sold paid for the cost of feeding and purchasing all 3 of the babies that we bought,
Nice.
right? So it paid for the feed and it paid for the pigs. So we start out at 0 from that. And then we've got 2 years of not buying pork, basically,
Which
pork and hamburger.
Savings.
Right. So savings. So while we technically didn't profit, which we would have had that 4th one lived,
Mm-hmm.
then we would have sold 2 and had 2.
Yep.
But we had to feed them for almost a year because of the time we got them. It was late in the year, so it was over winter, and you're putting out a lot more feed in the
lot
winter.
more feed
so you
and
had,
hay.
before we ever saw the result of that. So there's all that coming out of pocket. So I think that's something else that people need to realize is that it takes a while to see that turnaround. And there are things that you can do that are a little faster, selling eggs maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Sheep, I think, are a pretty quick turnaround if you raise them, but it's all kind of a long game. You plant in spring and you harvest
And
late summer.
Which are larger animals in the fall and the winter.
Right, yeah. The rabbits have been your favorite?
The rabbits have been my favorite because I've changed so many different things. I went from water bottles to Crocs to the watering system. I'm going to change the rabbits once I thin out the herd. Everything's going to be suspended, so it's a lot easier to clean out. I can get rid of the manure. I can put that on the garden. It'll be a lot easier. Save me time, save me energy, save me money.
So I know on our farm, Chris kind of set up a rule for me early on, which was that I can do one major animal or project per year. So other little things come, you know, unexpectedly, but like I wanted to start off with goats and chickens and bees and whatever, and he was like, pick one. Do that for a year, then get another one, and I found, especially since we both work off farm, and we're doing this before and after work and weekends, that has been really valuable advice for me. That to grow, it's made our growth slower than I thought it would be. Like I thought it would be farther along. We're 5 years in now, so I thought it would be farther along, but I think it has also made it manageable. And that had I taken on too much too soon, I might not have been in for the long haul.
You would have got burnt out.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
You don't have to be done at a certain time. Just take your time, do it right the first time. That way you don't have to repeat it. Save up the money for it instead of just spending it all at once.
I can't believe you're moving it with the water jug on there. That's got to be heavy.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, okay, so I'm not building this style. I'm not going to build this style. I can't even budget. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. The Rooster Crows.